Well, there are countries out there in Europe that are not part of the EU that are basically sort of offering a pocket of resistance when it comes to age verification, age assurance, all this stuff that the EU has been pushing across to basically censor the internet. Now, there's a country called Luxembourg. If you're not familiar with that, it's a small country surrounded by Belgium, France, and Germany. I mean, it is literally, if you look at the map, you can see densely where it is. You just talk about being in the middle of a rock and a hard place. You know, Luxembourg is one of those countries that are in the middle of a rock and a hard place. Now, of recent, seems like France and their digital organization, what is it, ARCOM, ARCOM, they're trying to enforce age verification rules onto countries that are not in the EU, which includes Luxembourg. And they're not having at it. But before we get into this article, I want to thank those of you who have subscribed, commented, liked, share. We really do appreciate that. We were like a little over 1340. Hopefully we've passed that. We really do appreciate it. We're in this man with the show Summer Edition. We really do appreciate you clicking on this video. A lot going on this week. We're coming in full force once again. A lot of content. We're doing our best to bring that to you. Also, we will be appearing on other content creators' sites. This week, we're on SCIFI SNOB's Babylon 5 retrospective, season finale, Chrysalis, 11 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday. So do check us out there. We do give him a same thing, comment, like, share, and subscribe there. We want to boost him up there. He's a little over 500. Let's get him to 1,000 subscribers. Let's get him over the top on there. We really do appreciate that. So, from XBiz, Luxembourg rejects request to enforce French AV law. Government officials in Luxembourg have rebuffed a French government request to help enforce France's security and regulations of the digital space law by taking action against webcam platform LiveJasmin, the Luxembourg Times is reporting. As XBiz reported last month, French media regulator ARCOM is currently enforcing age verification rules for site operators based in France and non-EU countries. Although the agency is scheduled to begin applying those rules to platforms based in the other EU countries as of June 7th, the Luxembourg Times reported indicates that France targeted Luxembourg-based LiveJasmin as early in December 2024. That's right, LiveJasmin is based in Luxembourg, if I'm not mistaken on that. Citing an exchange of letters between the Luxembourg and French governments, the report states that in late December, French authorities alleged that LiveJasmin lacks the age verification as mandated under SREN and asked Luxembourg authorities to crack down on the Dossler holding the company that runs LiveJasmin and require it to implement the AV measures required under SREN. Now, if you're not familiar with LiveJasmin, they are an adult website that handles live streaming services. They're sort of like OnlyFans. There's nudity, sex activity, striptease, erotic talk, all the things you would find on many of the other sites itself. Most of the time, you'll find them advertising on, say, Pornhub and many of the other sites that you normally, if you happen to go through those websites themselves. Continuing on, in a response, Luxembourg officials asked the country's own media regulator, ILIA, to investigate whether Jasmine complies with the Grand Duchy's obligations to protect minors. The Luxembourg Times article notes, however, officials rejected the idea that Luxembourg is obligated to enforce French laws. Luxembourg was defending its sovereignty and the EU common international market, according to the Luxembourg Times. There is absolutely no discussion as to whether it is important or necessary to do something about children easily viewing porn. A Luxembourg economy minister officially told the news outlet, of course, something has to be done, but we have to do it in a legal and appropriate manner. I like that was said that way. Legal and appropriate manner. We cannot circumvent EU rules just because it may be a highly sensitive topic. As Express reported last week, the European Commission recently made public its draft guidelines on protecting minors online under the EU Digital Service Act, including age verification requirements covering adult sites and platforms. Those draft guidelines are open for final public feedback until June 10th. A dossier holding spokesman told the Luxembourg Times that sexual content on LiveJasmin is kept behind a paywall that requires customers to prove their age. Content accessibility to unverified users is strictly non-pornographic, the spokesman told the Luxembourg Times in an email. Yeah, that's the one thing about LiveJasmin. You got to pay to get in. There are some free stuff on there, but it's not adult that adult content that they want to block. But this shows you the lengths that they're going through. They're going to go to censor stuff on the internet. Here's a site that actually does check age verification. That they've done it without anybody passing a law to that nature. It's already on their website that they have their own version of verifying people online, but yet they're being attacked. That basically you have and the thing is, it's not coming from within their own country. It is coming from a country across their border over in France. Luxembourg is their own country. Why is France getting involved in Luxembourg? The reason is because LiveJasmin is based in Luxembourg. The company itself is based in Luxembourg. That's why. This is the thought pattern they have. They're going to go after. It's the same thing when they're going after the pirated sites. They're going to go after the countries where the pirate sites sit in. But in this case, this has nothing to do with piracy. This is live content. If they're checking people that are coming in the site, they have to be checking their online content. You don't hear too much about LiveJasmin. I mean, I on occasion see an ad for them posted on one of the adult websites or on a banner when I'm going through adult video news or through XBiz on occasion. That'll lightly pop up in the background. But basically, you have a site that most of these countries haven't even put a spotlight on or put a bullseye on. Why now? Because they're going after all these sites. They're going after anything that they find, offensive. That's what it is. It's obscenity laws and offensive times 10. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to shut this down. Even in this country. In this country alone, you've got people that are trying to push age assurance, age verification. They're trying to push children's online protection laws that are hidden as pure censorship, violation of the First Amendment. I mean, think about this. The law that Texas put out, the SB 20, would make, if you're familiar with what cherubs are little angel statuettes that they put on fountains and many places, gardens and stuff like that. That law would make those illegal. Yeah, yes, it would. It would. That law, as roughly as you look at, if you read it onto there, it would make this statue illegal in the state of Texas. Amazing, isn't it? Because a lot of these politicians, when they go through the rule, they don't read through and read it properly. They just skim through it. The people who wrote this and want the action to happen, they expect that from you. What's Nancy Pelosi says? You got to pass it so you can read it. Yeah, pass the law and then find out how screwed we are in the end. But that's what Luxembourg is not doing. They're not letting France screw them over. And told them, it says, listen, we're our own sovereignty. We're our own country. Why are you going to push that? Are they going to block them? Are they going to block access to the internet for them? No. No, they can't. You got Starlink and many other services that you're able to get for that country. Are they going to try to use, tariffs? Are they going to use basically trade laws to freaking affect the country? Are they going to try to do that? I don't know. Probably they might. But we're going to have to sit back and wait a bit. Because, I mean, this is a situation. This is what's going on around the world, including the United States, that basically, and it needs to stop. It needs to stop. If you're worried about children, take care of the children that are missing out there. In the United States, we have like 300,000 children missing that came across the border. Still haven't been found yet. Where are they? What are they doing? I'll tell you where they are. They're hidden in plain sight. They might, if you're here in the United States, you see a kid selling candy on there, that's one right there. Or if you see him, or if you see a prostitute on the street and looks a little bit too young, there you go. Or you might have gone into a factory. You might see someone cleaning up a mess. Looks a little younger than he's supposed to be. Gee, I wonder how old that person is. Bet's going to be younger than 18. And this happens. It is happening. They want to push away the websites because it is censorship, but they're not going to take care of the true nature of the beast itself. And in true fashion form, I would like to hear from you. Tell me your thoughts, comment on there. We'd like to hear from you and see what your thoughts about this. I know people say, well, Luxembourg, a little country and nothing on that, but it's important. It only takes one person to open Pandora's box. It always is. And the thing about it is, if they get away in one place, they'll go to others and try the same thing over and over again. So comment, like, share, and hopefully today's the day I've earned your subscription. So until next time, thank you for tuning in. Be sure to tune in to Sci-Fi Snob's retrospective of Babylon 5 Chrysalis season finale of season 1. I'll be there on the panel, 11 p.m. Eastern, right here on YouTube. And be sure to check us out also YouTube and Rumble on CutyCast TV as well. We are on both those sites. Be sure to subscribe on both those sites and leave a comment, like, and share. So until next time, thank you for tuning in, and bye-bye now.